Good day, this is Ray. Today is Saturday, July 13th, 2024. For me, another day of learning and growing. Hope that you, family, friends, and loved ones are doing well and staying safe. So, as the title of my video says, had both a health and financial setback. The health part has already happened. The financial part has yet to happen, but I'll get into that. So, if you have been following my journey to this point, 4 years ago, I recognized that I had $115,000 worth of consumer debt, specifically $115,041.89 worth of consumer debt. And even before that, back in 2019, May of 2019, I was diagnosed with lupus. So, dealing with a lot of debt, don't make a lot of money, and just really, trying to find my way. So from that point on, I started to pay off the debt aggressively, and I'm glad to say that I'm less than $1,000 away from having paid off $65,000 worth of that debt. So I'm very close to having $50,000 worth of consumer debt as opposed to $115,000. But what I'm starting to see, what I should have realized from the beginning, is that paying off debt isn't a straight line. It isn't as easy as just saying I'm going to dump as much money as I can towards the debt, and that'll be that. There's a lot to consider. How much is going towards fixed expenses, such as mortgage, your HOA, your electricity, your phone bill, and other bills that you have for the month, and then how much is going towards food, fuel, medications, doctor's costs, things like that. So, once I've identified all that, how much do I have left to be able to dump extra towards the debt? And, ever since I got my house a few years ago now, my budget has been really tight, but I have a budget, and that's the thing. I used to think that budgeting was just keeping good track of how much you have and how much you spend, but it's a lot more than that. Excuse me, a lot more than that. It's assigning that money to do what it's supposed to do. So whether it be I have 2 paychecks or 3 paychecks in a month, or if I get a little extra income from doing surveys, that money has an assignment. It's either going to my emergency fund, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, or it's going towards extra payment towards the debt. So the health setback I had, it started early last month. I just started getting sick. Was in the middle of a lupus flare. I still have a bump here. It's not as bad as it has been, but joint pain. I was coughing all month, runny nose, chest pain. That was the biggest thing. So June 27th at 1 a.m. in the morning, I went to the emergency room, and it was a similar pain to when I had a PE and DVT, a pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, blood clots in the legs and the lungs, and the lung on the left side of my body. And so, I couldn't chance it. I just had to get up and go. I should have went earlier in the day, but, I thought it was, it was like a few moments where I felt like it was improving, but that was false. So I got to the emergency room, and, I went through that whole thing, and they checked everything, chest x-ray, had labs done, and everything seemed fine. Gave me a muscle relaxer. My magnesium and potassium were low, so to take care of that. What I was more concerned about after leaving, I was there for about 3-4 hours. What I was worried about after leaving was the bill, because up until this point I hadn't met my deductible for the year. So I said, okay, I have some money in health reimbursement account, which I'm going to use a big portion to pay a previous doctor's bill, and I still have some labs I have to pay for. So I'm going to be wiped out as soon as I apply. Excuse me, still not 100%. As soon as I apply the, I'm sorry, pay for that bill from my previous doctor's visit, as well as the labs, and then a portion of it, I guess whatever's left, I'll be able to apply it to, they say, emergency room visit. And but then I'm going to have to come out of pocket a few $100. So I'm hoping that it won't have to come out of my emergency fund, that I'll be able to cover that with my regular salary. But I may have to, may have to dig into my emergency fund. And if I do that, then I have to stop accelerating my debt payment. I have to take a pause on that, dump as much money as I can into my emergency fund to get back to full. Because emergencies happen. They've happened to me. You know, when I moved in here, I had significant tax bills, and it wiped out my emergency fund. The year after that, my laptop crashed. I had to get another laptop. I had my closet shelving fall. One night, got repairs on that. Eventually, ended up getting a rack for inside of my closet, so I won't have any issues of, you know, waste of clothes, at least. There's been I was having a problem with, you know, a lot of bugs coming through the front door because I didn't have a storm door. So I ended up getting a storm door. And so it's kind of, that wasn't really an emergency, but, you know, for comfort's sake, I got that. And I'm glad I did. But, you know, paying off debt isn't a straight line. You know, maybe for you, if you're going through this right now, so it could be a little bit easier because you may have a much bigger income. I don't make 6 figures a year. You could have 2 incomes, and that will make it easier as long as you're both on the same page and have the same goals, is to get out of debt and to build a retirement. And you know, for me, this is a difficult journey for sure, and I just have to be very mindful of how I'm spending money. Like I said, I have a tight budget, very tight budget. 80% of my income basically goes towards the fixed expenses, including the debt payments that I have, which is student loans and one personal loan. The credit card debt was consolidated into the loan. I don't have any credit card debt, and that's not something I'm going to ever face again. I don't see credit cards as an emergency fund. It's not for that. It's for convenience. You know, it's for being able to get the points and maybe apply it towards you know, future purchases. But you know, that's something that should be paid off each month if you're using those. And I am using my credit cards in a wise way. So, you know, when I say that, like for example, I have I get groceries every week, and I'll set aside the money for the groceries, but I'll charge it on the card because I get, you know, points, and then I'll pay that card off. Normally I pay it off before. Well, I always pay it off before the statement due date, so you know I have to accrue any interest on it. That also looks good because it shows that I'm using 0% of my credit cards. But the fact that I am using it, that means that the credit card company won't close it, and the age of that credit card, you know, gets older each month, and you know, and that's a factor when it comes to figuring out your credit score. How long have you had that credit card open, or that loan, how long has it been open? So that's how I use my credit cards now, as opposed to in the past when I said, hey, you know, I think the craziest thing I've ever bought was when I was delirious and I got hardly any sleep. I was thinking about a game system And before that time, I hadn't played game systems in probably 10, 15 years. And I ended up going to Best Buy and getting a PS3. And I forget how much it cost, but I charged it. I was like, I'll just pay it off little by little. Well, I'm probably paying it off now, because, I consolidated my debts. But that was crazy. I don't do stuff like that anymore. It's very rare that I make large purchases. And when I do make large purchases, I set aside the money for it. And then what's funny is, let's say I'm setting aside money each month for this thing that I may want, that by the time I have the money to purchase it, either the price is a lot lower or I don't want it or need it. And so I have money to be able to dump towards debt or to put into the emergency fund. And that has happened. Where I was saving up for something and I said, well, I don't really need this thing. I'm good with what I have at home. So that's that. And, the bigger picture for me is that this isn't a straight line journey. There's going to be ups and downs, and you might see my payoff for this month or next month be a lot lower because I have to focus on getting the emergency fund back up, if that's the case, or I use that money to be able to pay the remainder of the hospital bill. That may happen. So, which, it kind of sucks because I was on a good pace in the first 6 months of this year. So it really makes some damage. And that's life. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. I can't believe I just quoted that. Yeah, that tells you how old I am. And I'm going to wrap up this video. But if you made it this far, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. When I post my videos. You can find me at youtube.com/@lupaslifestyle. Until next time, y'all take care.